All right, so we're learning a new form of notation today called factorial notation. So if you have a number, like yesterday we learned that if I have 6 objects and I want to select 6 of them and put them in order. Shh. So I have 6 spots for 6 objects. How many choices do I have for the first spot? And if I can't repeat, how many choices do I have for the second spot? 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, instead of writing 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, we write 6 exclamation mark, which means 6 factorial. Okay? That's all it means. You can yell it if you want. No, if you're going to yell it, you got to be like say it.
6.
No, like more.
6.
You're just not doing it. No. So, 4 factorial. What's 4 factorial? I told my other class that you guys are the smartest.
Why does it not go down to 0? Okay, I know it'll make it 0, but like, no, but why?
Because 0 times anything is 0.
No, I know, but why? That seems stupid, but why?
You should go back to your grade 2 teacher.
No, but why?
All right. You can. It only goes to 1. But this is important. You actually pointed this out. It only goes to 1. It doesn't go to 0 because if it goes to 0, the answer is 0.
No, I know it goes to 0, but why? Stop saying that.
Okay. Now you are not allowed to multiply factorials. So 3 factorial times 2 factorial does not equal 6 factorial. Okay. What it equals is 3 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 1. What's 3 times 2? Times 1.
6. 12.
Times 2 is 12 times 1, so it equals 12. All right? It does not, you can't just multiply the factorials together. You have to actually get the number and then multiply it.
I think what Andrew's trying to say is that like the digits that we can input into any spot is 0 through 9. Right?
Yeah, like why is 0 not counted?
Like logically we times anything by 0, it goes to 0. But the digits available when we're like writing it out is 0 through to 9. So he's saying is there like
is there a specific reason other than that they exclude 0?
It's a made-up thing.
No, okay. So you're talking about if I said all the digits between 0 and 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, these are the number of choices.
Yeah.
So you have 10 choices, and then 9, then 8, then 7, 6. You go down to 1 choice, and then there's no more choices after that.
Oh, but even though you have 10 choices.
0 is one of the choices, but that's still just 1 choice. No. Okay, I gotta pause the video. Okay, so 6 factorial is 6 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all the way down. All right. You can rewrite it in different ways, though. You don't have to go all the way down. You can write 6 factorial as 6 times 5, and then if you get lazy, you're like, well, I don't want to write the rest of it, so I'll just write 4 factorial.
So could you just write 6 factorial as 6 factorial?
You could, but sometimes you have to reduce it.
Oh, I see.
Okay? So if I have 6 factorial over 4 factorial, that does not equal 3 halves factorial.
Maybe it does.
It doesn't reduce, okay? So what you do, actually I do, is you rewrite the 6 as 6 times 5, and then when you get to 4 factorial, you stop because they cancel out. I know. Just blew your minds, didn't I? All right. We're going to cross all that stuff out. We're going to go to the bottoms. 10 factorial over 7 factorial. Which one do I rewrite? The top one, because it's bigger. So it's 10 times 9 times 8. And then I stop at 7 because they cancel. This is integral to his legacy. Or as Noah would say, it's integral.
There's definitely something to be said about the power dynamics.
Okay. 8 factorial over 5 factorial times 3 factorial. Which one do I reduce? Top, the 8, the bigger number. Times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. What happens to the 5 factorials? And then whatever 8. And then what's 3 factorial? 6. Which is 6, so all that cancels. So it's just 8 times 7, which is 56. Probably not, but no, I don't. Okay, it's pretty straightforward with numbers. All right? Are we okay? All right. So here's the actual definition of what a factorial is. In general, the factorial is n times n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3. Just keep taking one away until you get to 1, where n is a what's a natural number?
All positive.
Starting at 1 and going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are natural numbers. So 0 is not included and negative numbers are not included.
But 0 is defined.
The factorial, okay, is defined as going down to 1. We will get to the 0 factorial in a sec.
Didn't they say 0 is a natural number?
No, natural numbers are 1. 0 is part of the integer group. So natural numbers is 1 up. No negative. We're going to get there. Okay. They tell you here, but I'll show you why later. We're not going to worry about it right now. I don't know. I actually don't know. All right. Okay, so we can rewrite this n factorial in the same way that we can the 5 factorials and stuff that we did on the previous page. If you want to reduce it, all right, to cancel stuff. So if I have these equations here, n plus 2 factorial over n factorial, I want to get rid of the factorials. So which is the bigger number, n or n plus 2? N plus 2 is the bigger number. So you reduce the larger number. So the top becomes n plus 2. I take 1 away from that. What do I get? N plus 1. Take 1 away. You get? N. I'm going to stop there because what happens? You cancel the n's.
Why does it spit out n factorial? Like it's like n plus 2, n plus 1. Why wouldn't it just be n? Why is that?
Because it has factorial at the beginning, which means I take this all the way down to 1, right? I keep going, keep taking 1 away until I get there. For B, which is the larger number, n minus 2 or n minus 1?
N minus 1.
N minus 1 is the larger number. So I reduce the larger number, n minus 1. I take 1 away from it. What do I get? N minus 2. I can stop there because then they cancel. And I'm left with 1 over n minus 1. What am I going to do on C?
Wait, Mr. Ball.
Yeah.
Because once we like cross things out and we simplify down to 1 over n minus 1, does that n minus 1 stay as factorial?
Nope, because I've gotten rid of the factorial by writing it this way in expanded form.
The factorial just goes.
When you cancel because of these two are both factorials. Yeah. All right. Which is larger, top or bottom on C? Top. So the top becomes n. Take 1 away. You get n minus 1. Take another 1 away. What do you get? N minus 2. You have to go until everything matches. All right? I know. That's why you had to go 1 more. Like, that's why I couldn't go like this for the top. I couldn't go n minus 1 factorial because n minus 1 factorial does not cancel n minus 1. All right? So you go 1 more. So then I have n minus 1. All of those cancel, and I'm left with n minus 2 factorial.
Why does it spit out n minus 1 though if we don't know the value of n?
Because the definition of a factorial is you just keep taking 1 away from it, right?
What if the value is 1 and you take away 1 and then you got 0?
How do you do it when there's no certainty that you've gone to zero or a negative number? Like, if you don't have a definition for n, then
These are practice setting you up for the next question.
but like usually it would be like if you don't have a definition for n, you're not allowed to do it.
Well, no, you can solve this next question. We're going to solve for n. All right. We're going to solve for n. You will see. All right. Solve the equation. N factorial over n minus 2 factorial is equal to 42. Basically, you got to get rid of all the factorials. So, which is a bigger number, n or n minus 2?
And I meant.
Wow.
What I meant, I swear.
n minus 1. You keep going until it matches with the denominator. Those go away. So then I have n minus 1 is equal to 42. What type of equation is this? That is a quadratic. How do you solve quadratics? What do you have to do first? Foil and then move everything to one side and then factor. So I multiply the n in and I get n squared minus n. I move the 42 over and I get that. Now you factor. What multiplies the negative 42 and adds to negative 1? Which one's negative? So what does n equal?
Negative 6.
All right, are we done?
Yeah.
Really?
Test your points.
Oh, plug it back in?
Fuck, first class though.
You gotta test your answers.
Okay.
What do you want me to decide?
What makes it line zero?
You put them in the
Because
equation.
then you
You
can
do
divide
it.
it by zero. You have constraints.
Who said that? Bilal's the man.
What?
Are you allowed to have a negative number when you're doing?
Yes.
No.
What's the definition of n? Natural numbers. Are natural numbers negative?
Yes.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're positive. You can't have a negative.
So Greg did it. Thought he wouldn't, but he did.
Really? What does his look like? Oh, hang on. Stop talking. Don't talk. I don't know what we're doing. All right. So you cannot have negative n. So you throw out the negative. All right? So n is just 7. Therefore, n is equal to 7. All right. There is no, it's just n is equal to 7. Yeah. All right. The only questions I want you to do are 5 and 6. Okay. If I asked you to rearrange the digits 3, 5, and 7, how many different ways can we do that? Let's list all of them because this will be fun. All right. We could have the numbers 3, 5, 7, or 3, 7, 5, or 5, 3, 7, or 5, 7, 3, or 7, 3, 5, or 7, 5, 3. Is that all of them? So we could do it that way. I don't suggest that. Yesterday we would have done this. There's 3 choices for the first spot. There's 2 choices for the second spot. And there's 1 choice for the last spot, which would give us, which matches the number there. All right. This is called a permutation. Why is it called a permutation? Because the order matters. This is very important. When the order matters, and the order matters because once I put a number in the first spot, I cannot reuse it. Okay, so when it's a permutation, the repeats that we learned yesterday you're not repeating anything. Okay? Now, what's 3 times 2 times 1 written in factorial notation? That's just the same. That's the same as, I can't write in highlighter. Oh my gosh. That's the same as 3 factorial. How many elements were there that we had at the beginning? 3. So if you have 5 elements and you're using all 5 elements in a specific order, how many ways can you rearrange it? 5 factorial. If you have 10 elements and you're rearranging all of them in a specific order, it's 10 factorial. So if I have the word Regina, how many letters are in the word Regina?
You don't know why that's funny.
Like a place in Canada? Wow. How many letters are there in the word Regina? How? You guys are. Okay, the word Kelowna. How many letters are in the word Kelowna? 7. If I'm going to use each letter once, how many ways can I rearrange it? 7 factorial. Page 384. Okay. Okay. Graphite. So if we have the word graphite, now, I don't know actually. Okay. So if you're using all the letters or all the numbers or whatever, it's just that number factorial. If you are not using all of them, so if I have the word graphite, I want to use 3 of those letters. How many letters are there? 8. So how many choices do I have for the first spot? 8, and then 7, and then 6. I can count. All right. And that would give us, what does that give us? What's 8 times 7 times 6? 720. Is it 720? No, it's 336. 400. Okay. Now, that's the way we would have done it yesterday. That is still a valid way. I use that way all the time. Certain questions, I find that the easier method to use. But if you have 8 objects to pick from, and you need to pick 3 of them, on your calculator, can you find the NPR button? NPR.
So R stands for like number of positions.
So N is the number of objects you have total. All right. R is the number of objects you're picking. All right. So for this one, I have 8 objects. I need to pick 3. So you hit 8, NPR, 3. And then you might have to hit equals. It depends. Every calculator is different. You should get 336. Does people get 336?
Okay, let me find it. It's easy. Just number NPR.
Yep, that was my
Let's go.
Six.
We got that.
All right. Did people get that? So that's total objects is your N value. Shh. R is the number that you're picking. Oh my gosh. You're going to learn what 0 factorials right now. Okay. Now, if I have 8 objects, all right, and I want to pick 8, so it's 8P8, all right? If you put that in your calculator, you're going to get 40,320, which is 8 factorial, right? If I have 8 objects and I have to use all of them, it's going to be 8 choices, 7 choices, 6 choices, 5 choices. It's just 8 factorial. Now, the definition of NPR mathematically is n factorial over n minus r factorial. So 8P8 will equal 8 factorial, 8 minus 8 factorial, right? Which is going to be 8 factorial over 0 factorial. We know but the answer has to be 8 factorial. Therefore, 0 factorial has to be 1. Okay? And that's what the next page says. 0 factorial is defined as a value of 1. All right. Sorry? No. Google it. All right. So we're going to go back to license plates, people. I know. Yesterday, this is how we did it yesterday. We did, okay, we have a license plate in a region, 2 different letters. So it's 2 letters, followed by 4 different digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are your digits. Okay, you can't repeat anything. The letters, we're not allowed to use I, O, Y, and Z. So how many letters are left? 22, right? Because there's 26 letters in an alphabet. We're in the English alphabet, so. Okay, so I have 22 choices for the first one, and how many for the second? 21. How many digits are there? 10. Okay, how many choices do I have for the first one? 10.
Is the first one allowed to be 0? What?
Yeah. 10, and then 9, 8, 7. If you multiply all that out, you're going to get 2,328,480. That's the way we did it yesterday. That will be valid all the way through this unit. Or if you recognize that it's a permutation, the order matters. The order matters because we cannot repeat any letters or digits. I can go 22P2 because I have 22 letters to choose from, and I have to pick 2 of them, times, and then if you do the digits, how many digits are there? 10. How many do I need? Times 10P4. You should get the same number. 2,328,480. Please make sure you can do that on your calculator.
The first number is your choices. The second
Is how many you're actually picking. Yeah. We're going to do that in a second. Did everybody get it?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Now, what if I give you n minus 1 p2 is equal to 90 and ask you to solve for n? If you get a question like this, NPR, like the way it's written, n minus 1 p2, that doesn't mean anything to us. We can't use algebra to solve that. So we have to go to the formula for NPR. NPR is defined as n factorial. That looks like 1/6. N factorial over n minus r factorial. That's the definition of NPR. So I rewrite this in this form. So, nope, because this is my n value, n minus 1, right? So it becomes n minus 1 factorial. That's what that is. N minus r.
Oh, I see. The n minus 1 is connected to the p.
Yeah. So now I've got that, which I will clean up to n minus 3 factorial equals not 90 degrees, just 90. Okay, which one's larger? Top is larger, so reduce it until they cancel. And then what is it? What type of equation is that? It's quadratic, so we need to FOIL out the ends. Move the 90 over. And So I get that. What multiplies to 88 and adds to 3? 11 and 8. Which one's negative?
The 11.
What's that like a word we expected?
Leo.
That's weird.
Nothing. N is equal to 11 minus or 11 and negative 8. Which one doesn't work? So it's just 11. And it makes sense in this case if you can't have negative 4 objects if you want to think of it that way. Or negative 8 objects, I guess. Can't have negative 4 either. What? All right. Any questions? Are we okay? Fit.